And what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Jamie Jenkins. We are back with the entrepreneur spot for the week. I hope everybody's doing great. Listen, man, for all you entrepreneurs out there, this is just an opportunity to come on and tell who you are to some people that you don't know. That's really the whole goal and how to make this entrepreneur thing work. Um, getting in front of people that you don't know and just talking about your product, talking about who you are, talking about what you do. It's invaluable. There's really not a price set on letting new people know who you are, because normally the people that know you introduce your product or you introduce who you are to them before. Now, if they decide to spend money with you or if they decide to support you, basically, normally that's an initial investment that they have to decide if they want to make or not. So after some time, the shock value, yes, I want to support him. No, I want to support her. Yes or no, I like the product. No, I don't. So you're going to win or lose a certain amount of that. But then after that, how do you spread the word? How do you get your message out there? How do you get who you are in front of people that you don't know? People that know you. They see you posted on Facebook. They see you posted on Instagram. And if they decide to entertain what you're doing, then they do or they don't. So you have that. You either win or lose, whatever that percentage is. You may win 30%, 40%, whatever it is. After that, the people that rock what you do, the people that don't, hey, I'm not interested. Now you got to get out there and search for new clients. You got to get out there and search for new everything. And this is just an opportunity to bring people on in front of people that I know, talking about what you do. So, man, if you're an entrepreneur, this is an invaluable opportunity. So just hit us up, and we want to help you promote you, if that makes sense. Tonight on the entrepreneur, I never do a long introduction. I'm here for the entrepreneur to do that. That's the whole purpose of the show. So this episode, we have Mr. Slaughter is in the house, telling you about who he is and what he has going on.
How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. What's going on? Where are you?
I'm at my office here in Houston, Texas.
Okay, H Town. That's what's
H
up,
Town.
man. That's what's up. Are you born and raised in Houston?
I was actually born in Fort Wayne, Indiana, relocated at 12, and I've been here for the last 3 decades, so I'm Houston through and through.
Yeah, you're a Houstonian now.
I'm a Houstonian now, but I still like certain things. I like to eat certain things. I got a little Yankee taste left in me.
Ah, I got you.
A
I
little
got
bit.
you.
You know,
What's your favorite meal, man? If you had to go out and say, hey, this is on me, $100, go eat what you want. What you gonna spend $100 on?
man, it just depends on the day. It might be Mexican food. It might be steak. If
Yeah,
I'm eating, it's gonna be a whole bunch of salad. I eat 100 pounds of steak and be sick tomorrow because I haven't had it in 2 months
yeah.
working out. So
How you get your steaks? What order
man,
your steak for me?
medium rare.
Medium rare.
Yeah, medium rare. Walk it out here and jump it on the plate. Jump it on the plate. I work with the rest.
That's exactly what that sounds like to me. Medium rare is exactly
Oh,
what it
I
sounds like
told
to
you,
me.
man. I'm in Texas. We eat steak out here, baby. We eat.
Man, listen, I guess, grown up. I guess as far as eating steak, me personally, I kind of grown up. I started with well done. Honestly, I started with well
I can
burn
tell.
it. Right, I want it black. I don't want to see nothing. And so
Yeah.
I went from well done to well. I try well, and then went to medium well, medium well. Just the older I got, I just say, well, they cooking it too much. I don't know if I got tired of chewing or what. But
That's
I'm right now.
funny.
I'm at a good medium. I hadn't went
Tell
to
me.
medium rare yet. I
Man,
hadn't went to
I
medium
eat
rare.
medium. I eat medium rare, right in that zone. Anywhere from medium rare up to medium, and a lot of it depends on where you get it at.
It does. It does.
Some people's medium rare is gonna be black and blue and bloody. Some people's
Yeah.
medium rare is really gonna be medium because they
Gotcha.
overcooked it. So it depends on where you are.
I got you. I got you. Yeah, I'm a medium well kind of guy right now. So
Yeah, I take that
I'm gonna
medium.
try a good steakhouse and try me a medium rare.
Yeah, it's tender
Yeah,
enough. It's solid enough to get on, tender enough,
yeah.
and you get all your protein and all your nutrients out of it. And man, go to the gym tomorrow and feel like Superman.
Man, listen, it gotta give you some protein. The cow's still mooing. It's gotta give you something.
Hey man, you got to get it all. If
Oh
we
my
get
God.
competition in my family, we got to go get it every
I
day.
understand. I got you. I got you. Listen, man, tell the people who you are and what you do as an entrepreneur.
My name is Darius Slaughter. I am the author of the #1 ebook bestseller, Hostile, an urban tragedy. It is about my last 7 years in the game. So Hostile is basically an intelligent look at business on the wrong side of the law. Everybody,
Mm-hmm.
reads these books, and we got all these hood books, and a lot of times this is glorification and super animated, and all his blood spilled out, and it's like 1,700 run-on sentences, and the
Mm-hmm.
average person you can't really read it by the end of the book.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, depending on what your education level is and what you're in the book for, if you're hyper intelligent, it's going to irritate you. So hostile is a testimonial. It is a look at my decisions, what led me to those decisions, and then the consequences and repercussions of those decisions. Now, it's not a glorification of the game. It's not a knock. I tell you the
Right.
truth. Yeah, I had a $85,000 truck. I slept with the most beautiful women, but my homeboy got locked up and didn't see his daughter from the time she was 3 until she graduated from college. This is the reality situation. When you get the
Right.
phone calls and say, "Hey man, my baby mama not answering the phone. She got some dude in the house, man. Go over there and put my kids on the phone. I don't care how you did it. I don't care how you do it. I want to talk to my kids today."
Right.
Right?
So this a lot of this is what's not written. Is what's not
Exactly.
posted.
Now,
Yeah.
social media and music have glorified the what I call the underworld and the drug game, the street game so much that a lot of these kids come up and they don't make educated decisions. You can ask them about a video game, they can tell you all the cheat codes, all the rules, and everything else, but they
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
to make life-threatening decisions that will ruin their lives, and they don't have all the information because we don't give it to them. It's never been
Uh,
given to them.
why not though? I
Because it's
guess
not popular. It's not popular. It's a setup. If you look at the way society was bent, so you had Black Wall Street bombed that, then they shot crack into the hood. That didn't work. Came back, locked everybody up, maximum sentence for minimum infraction.
true.
And now
True.
now it's social media. We've taught a whole generation to tell on themselves. Police don't have to
True.
investigate anymore. All you have to do is look on social media, look on Instagram, look on Snapchat. They're on probation and parole. They got a gun, dope, and everything else. Hold it up in the air. Hey, come get me right now. I'm right here. This is what I'm doing. This is where I'm at. They tell them don't leave the county. They get told don't leave the city on probation, but they posting videos in Vegas, posting videos that live in Miami. As soon as they get off the plane, they get picked up. They told on themselves, but they've been systematically brainwashed to do it.
They have to. They're looking for that social media. That social media drug is that powerful.
It's an addiction. It's an addiction.
Wow.
It's just like you said, it's a drug, it's an addiction. People cannot live their lives now without being co-signed by social media. Everything that they do has to be on social media, or it didn't happen.
Yeah. I see that all. I see it. We see that reality all the time.
I grew up.
Wow.
I grew up in. I'm a '70s baby. When I was in the streets, you didn't want anybody looking at you. If somebody was looking at you, as a Fed or a Jack boy, and it was a problem. What you want? Why are you staring at me? What do you want? Even in the clubs, what are you doing looking at my table? Why are you staring at me? Now people go to clubs and they won't do anything. They won't buy bottles. They don't throw money. They don't do anything until such a time as they have people staring at them. They do
You
everything
know
they
what?
can to people watch them.
That is crazy. That literally, I guess just the point you're making is so mind blowing because it's not spoken, but I can see it. Now, as you're talking
Yeah,
about it,
yeah.
I can see it. I've been around. Say, okay, we're gonna have this here. Hey, make sure y'all get this on tape. Make sure y'all go live before this happened. Go live so people can see what we're doing.
Mm-hmm. And
Wow.
to a certain extent, when it's controllable, and you have a whole generation throwing themselves under the bus, because that's what they've been trained to do. Law enforcement made it easy on themselves. We don't have to investigate it anymore. They have a whole division of HPD here in Houston, and all they
Mm-hmm.
do is scan social media.
Waiting on it. Just waiting on you to
Yeah.
post it.
You go on probation, you go on parole, you go on pretrial. They get all your information, your phone numbers, your email address. They plug it in. Whatever pops up off that, they scan. Most of your major corporations now, when you go through HR and you sign in at HR and you're trying to get a good job, they go and they scan your phone numbers, your emails, and IP addresses to find your
Mm-hmm.
social media and see what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah. I can attest to that. Uh, I guess being the recipient of new hires and stuff like that. I don't think. Well, what's as crazy is I don't know if it's crazy or not because I guess this generation has to know that information is almost public. It's basically public information.
It is
And
public.
so if you sign up for these jobs, why wouldn't I? All I gotta do is copy your name, paste it into a few places, who you are. I guess I can make a rash decision just based on what I see in 5-10 minutes. Do I hire? Do I not hire? But the information is already out there. I don't have
Yeah.
to action about it. Your reference and stuff, that's old. That's old news now.
I
I
don't
don't
need
have
to
to
private
call no three
detective.
random people on the phone you didn't prep.
No.
I can just go watch it for social media.
I don't need a private detective. I don't need a warrant. I don't need a phone tap because you're telling me everything.
Man, you are really tapping into a different world with that angle, and it is not the glorification of our addiction is not. It, I can't think of anybody that's putting it out there.
No,
Uh, uh, uh,
it's a setup. A lot of the stuff that you see on TV now, big business, mass media, social media, news is twisted and turned in order to position us to where they can get us to where they want us. So you have population control. So
mhm,
every major TV show now has a man to man, a woman to woman, which I don't care. You find love wherever you want it. But at the end
mhm.
of the day, there's a reason that they're pushing this like they are because they can't procreate.
So
So
let me ask you this here: are you labeled a conspiracy theorist?
not that I know of, I'm a convict. I've been to the belly of the beast. I've been to the bottom. I've been down, housed, been a number,
So you've
agent.
been eye to eye. The things
Yeah,
you're saying, you've been eye to eye with.
been out of eye. The craziest part is that when they get a child molester, they put them in PC, protective custody. They never let you get to them. They have a whole unit here in Texas with nothing but police officers and child molesters. They hide them, they protect them, but everybody else goes in and just get in where you fit in. Good luck. But who protected the kids? The kids that they preyed on weren't protected.
Man, you dropping some knowledge, doc.
Yes, the system is twisted. The system is crazy. The way the system programs you, it's not to rehab you. It's
Yeah,
to treat you like an animal and get you to reciprocate because they make so much money off of you.
you're a
Prisons are
product at that
expensive.
point.
Yeah,
You're a
you are a
product.
product. You are a product at that point.
So once you into the cycle, they really don't want you out. Not really.
No, because you're never out. They know that 85%, if they program you like they want to program you, you'll be back. You'll reciprocate. You'll be back in the system. You make the money on parole. You make the money on probation. You make the money while you're down. So the trick is once you get 1 foot in, to keep 1 foot in. Doesn't matter if you're on parole. You got to go pay those fees. You got to go see those people every month. You got to pay for UAs. You have to pay for monthly supervision fees. So you're keeping all these people in business.
You're a cash cow.
Cash cow. That's what you are. TDC in itself, my third book is about TDC. I actually worked in the dog kennels with TDC. I've actually seen people pick cotton. So the field squads here is 13 inmates, a CO on a horse with a 357 Magnum. So what does that remind you of? That's an overseer.
All day.
All
I can
day.
see it. I mean, I can see it. You paint the picture
Yeah.
in my mind. I can
So
see it clear as day.
you got 5 to 15, 16 squads in a row. You got a high rider on one end with an AR-15 that's a trained sniper, and you got an inmate on the other end with a pack of dogs. So if you run and the sniper can't get you, they call the dog kennel. They turn the dog sergeant out and they hunt you with dogs. TDC doesn't hunt like TV. They don't have a bloodhound and a little overseer like life walking behind the dog. They let 10 dogs go that have been trained to hunt people since the first time they open their eyes. And if they catch you and kill you before they got to you, the official stance is you shouldn't have ran.
Wow.
You shouldn't have run.
Man, that's tough. That is tough, man.
Yeah. But this is the system that kids sign up for. It's kids in Texas locked up at 12. They get moved across as adults at 16, 17, spend
Yeah.
all the rest of their 20s and 30s in prison and come home at 40 and have no clue how to live in the world. They're institutionalized. They were never in the world technically. As a
No.
child forming adult values and morals at 12, 13, 14, they were already incarcerated.
And there's really no transition out of it.
None. None. They'll go back. They're more comfortable inside than outside. They'll do something dumb to go back just because they feel better. That's their safety zone. They don't know how to get out of it.
Wow. So tell me, I don't know. I mean, I guess what is your uh, how many books you got? You have this. I got your website right here,
Yes.
your Instagram and your website. Just tell people what's on these sites. What can they look forward to? If they see you, what are they going to get?
Facebook is day-to-day thoughts. It's linked to my Instagram. Different pictures from my day-to-day life, different thoughts. The website itself is being rewritten right now to give more access to people that are actually buying gear or buying books. There are 3 books written. Hostile and Urban Tragedy is the first book. Hostile 2, Homecoming, the second book, will be released the spring of next year. And then the third book will be released the spring of the year after. Um, I started my own podcast called Strong Arm Asylum, actually in 2 weeks, and just
Hmm.
speaking on social issues and stuff. I know a lot of people here in the city. There are a lot of issues that we need to speak on, safety wise, as far as our women and children. We don't teach our women and children how to survive. We teach you how to smoke hookah and we teach you how to take shots. We don't teach you situational awareness. And then we look at Instagram, we see a young child of another race, creed, or color shooting a gun, and we say, "Oh, why are you teaching your kids to shoot so they can stay alive?" In the situations that we grow up in, we put ourselves in on a regular basis, how do we not teach our kids how to handle firearms safely? How do we not teach our women how to be situationally aware?
Hmm.
You know, the biggest thing that I see, one of the big things that we'll address on my second or third episode is our females get in the car, start the car, jump straight in the phone, don't even lock the doors. Most of the cars that they're driving don't auto lock the doors when you start the car. The
That's
door is
true.
open. Somebody
That's
can walk
true.
right up and snatch the door open and walk off with you. But
Yeah,
we don't we
that
don't
awareness is big. I have daughters, man. Yeah, that awareness is big, and people
yeah,
prey on it. People know that they are not aware of their surroundings as much as maybe they used to be. I
they,
guess
they aren't.
overall.
They really aren't because it's this cell phones. First thing they do, you know, the fact that Apple actually gives you a breakdown of how many hours a week you spend on the screen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Some of the stuff that the phone does tells you there's something wrong. It gives you a breakdown. You spent 30 hours on this week on the screen. What could you have done in your life with 30 hours?
Ooh, man, that's tough. That's
For
tough,
all,
man.
you know, in my case, I'm self-published. So
Hmm.
by self-publishing, I was allowed to maintain my content, maintain my tone, maintain my style of writing. So the funniest
Right.
thing, who helped you write the book? Me. Nobody helped you write. No, I wrote the book. Oh, well, you know, so after they get over that initial shot because I'm tattooed and I look like I look and I've been
Hmm.
where I've been, then it's well, why didn't you change this title and why didn't you say this and that? Because that was the life. I can't dull the life down and clearly represent the life.
Right.
It either is or it isn't. I can't water it down and then tell you, oh, well, this is the life. That's not it. It's raw, it's uncut, it's rough, it's rugged. I tell you in the very beginning of the book, this book is not for everybody.
Hmm.
It's real, it's uncut, it's raw. It's not for everybody. So when you read this book, understand you're probably gonna cry, you're gonna scream, you're gonna be upset, you're gonna look at me and think I'm an animal at the end. But at the end of the day, I'm relating a situation that the average person will never understand, would never have insight into. When you look at the news, say, man, why would somebody do that? Why would Pablo Escobar do that? Why was Pablo Escobar having all that money? Why do people idolize Pablo Escobar? Why do they pay $1 million plus to the Sopranos cast every week?
Hmm.
America has always been infatuated with criminals. has always
Oh
been
yes.
infatuated with the bad guys. So as much as we sit up and throw rocks and say, "Oh, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that," then why did you pay these people all this money to portray bad guys?
Wow, man, your twist on it is so, I don't know, man. That's refreshing because I I myself I'm a huge uh mafia movie guy. Your Heat, your Goodfellas,
There you go.
all that stuff right
He,
there.
woo,
Yeah, Heat. Oh man, that's tough, man. I love that movie. I'm telling you, I love if it's on, I'm gone for 2 hours, 3 hours. A long movie too. Now,
out there. Nothing
if
else
I
got
see it
shut
on,
it down.
I'm locked in like I never
Shut
seen
it
it.
down. Shut it down, baby. I'm watching the movie. Leave me alone.
Yep, I'm good. I'm good. Go ahead, y'all. Going where you going? I'm good.
And
Yeah,
so,
yeah. That right there, and that's my lane. I mean, I enjoy
yes,
that thrill. That what I'm saying that power. Um, it's addictive. I
it
can
is.
see that.
And the thing about when you're in that lane, when you're actually living in that lane, it is addictive. It's I have an addiction like everybody else. My addiction is money.
Yeah.
Out here when you get out at the point when I got out, I was gone 4 years. The last time they made you go to pre-release. It was one of those snitch programs where you sit around and dress that all white and they write little slips and tell on each other and they're trying to re-indoctrinate you and brainwash you into this. And it was a lot of drug addicts. So I ended up as an inmate counselor. And I'm watching them like, when your addiction is power and you have this and that. Yeah, it is because I didn't grow up with that. I didn't grow up with the ability to make decisions. When you take somebody that's always had to take what they were given or take what they could
Mhm.
give, and you
Right.
allow them at a point to make decisions, it's no different than a lot of our pro athletes. Why would he do that? That's stupid because he never had money. You gave a man $1 million. He's straight out of the hood. He just ran fast.
Listen, listen. One of my buddies, a good friend of mine. We've talked about that. We see a little more. I guess a little more now. You see them trying to establish, coming in a transition from what you're doing to this and the other. And so now I think I guess college athletes now have the ability to get paid.
Yeah.
So now hopefully either two things are happening. Either we can start learning earlier before you can learn with 1 million before you get 100 million, and that may help some of our athletes out, or you'll see the problems faster. You'll see somebody from a no-name high school who's you know hadn't done anything. Well, they are a football player, no money in the house, and then they go to Alabama making $2 or $3 million a season as a 18-year-old. Now you really might have a problem then. You really could
Yeah.
have a problem
You
with
do.
people making that kind of money,
You
and not having it, like a real culture shock.
I deal with a lot of. I am in close contact with a lot of due to my job for a lot of athletes, a lot of uh, rappers, singers, actors and whatnot. And you would be stunned at the mentality of some of them. Some of them are
Right.
so quiet and so laid back, and you would never actually know they had the amount of money they have. And some of them are just on a mission to blast off as quick as possible. And then Lord forbid something happens, they blow a knee, blow an ACL, blow an MCL, something happens, and it's like bang.
Mentally, they ain't ready.
Yeah, and I know one of the young kids actually that was at the cutting edge. When these contracts came through and they signed a couple weeks ago with the deal for the college athletes. He's on Bitcoin and all kind of stuff. He was one of the star athletes, to lead the way with the initial marketing company that's
Yeah.
representing a lot of them and everything. So his
Yeah.
money is public. He hasn't even gone to the league yet, but he's been a football star since high school, and it's interesting to watch him maneuver and navigate.
Hmm.
He had a real strong family system. Mom, sister was plugged in. So actually, one of my bosses and a couple other people, and he's made the most of this college thing. He's literally came out and had endorsements. I think 10 endorsements signed on. Was a partner in something else, Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So it's good to see them get their money as much as they put
Yeah.
on their bodies at that age and stage.
True. Oh, absolutely. I've been a proponent of promoting that from day one, especially as an adult, knowing from a corporate side how much revenue this product is generating. Their product, don't get me
Oh yeah,
wrong, that's what they are. They're
yeah.
entertainment. And at the end of the day, if they're bringing in 200, $300 million in a season, for a body of work for student athletes, and then they are getting, and don't get me wrong, it's very impactful, but they're getting the education, but the trade off is pennies to really pennies to millions at the
Oh, it
end of the
is.
day.
Especially for the ones that end up shooting their body. I mean, you can come here to Houston and you can go to any major car lots around the city and you're gonna find NBA players, NFL players. You find them in the strangest places doing the strangest jobs because they blew their money.
Wow.
They blew their money. The guy that sold me my life, and when I bought in my book, I talk about buying a Navigator. When they very first came out, when Lincoln first came out, the Navigator. I was doing everything crazy and wrong
Yeah.
in the world. And I went to buy a Navigator. The guy that sold me my truck was an ex NBA player. That's his retirement, selling trucks.
Wow. I know they had to be like, what?
Yeah.
Like what?
And you run into them everywhere doing the damnest things because a lot of the older guys didn't have money managers.
They just ran through it, had
Yeah.
fun, ran through it, played ball, spent money.
Even the NFL guys said they used to work summer jobs. A lot of older NFL guys would be working at farms and baling hay and doing this and doing that and working summer jobs to make sure they get
Wow.
house notes and stuff on. So it's crazy how the money moves or how it doesn't move. And the thing is that these are things that we don't teach ourselves and we're not taught.
Nope.
We're not
You're
taught.
right.
We focus on the little stuff. It's quick. You can dangle a carrot or a tragedy in front of us, and we'll go off the deep end, and then we forget about it 90 days later. For all the
It's
riots
gone.
and the walks and the George Floyd movement, you haven't heard a peep until they sentenced old boy. And you hadn't heard a peep after that. You haven't heard anything. It's still police killing people. There's still injustice. But we don't make the same racket in the hood when there's a murder that we do because he put in
Oh man,
jail.
they finna get on your neck, man. They finna get on your neck now. But
I've been,
I understand.
I've been to prison. I seen the boys down there, man, doing time for the girl that never cared about them. I seen the boys down there crying because they can't get to their kids, and their kids out here caught in the system. Can't eat, can't get food, or mama bringing them weirdos around. Or
That's
vice
a
versa.
listen, man. You truly have a unique view. I mean, like you said, from the bed of the beast. That's the view you got. Somebody like me, the I've had maybe 4 speeding tickets. Like that's my extent. That's my extent with
Yeah.
the law. That's it. And so your view is not one that is normally public, not from behind the scenes in that aspect. We see the glitz, the glamour, and then for a person like me, if something happens to that situation, whatever, normally that's the end of the show for me. I don't get to see anything else. I don't
Mm-hmm.
get to see really what happens. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But for you to be able to come back and tell this story and be open and honest from, hey, this is what happened, not what they say happened, not it kind of works like this. Like for you
Yeah.
to come back and tell their story is absolutely, absolutely phenomenal. I'm gonna ask you a couple questions just from our Hello Black Entrepreneur journal,
Sure.
and let's just see how it brings out, like, certain answers from everything, from what you do and who
Okay.
you are. So one of the questions in the journal says, "Hello, Black Entrepreneur. What is the most important reason you wish to be successful?"
The most important reason I wish to be successful is twofold. First of all, is I'm always in a competition with myself. I want to see how far I can push. The second reason because they tell me I can't. Once you become a convict, you get an X on your back. You can't have a liquor license. You can't get a lease. You can't do this. You can't do that. There's a list a mile long of things that I can't do because I have a felony from a case that I caught back in 2001. And it's
20 years.
2021. So I did 20 years basically. I did basically 40 years on public supervision. So from the time I was 19 until 2013, I was on public supervision, on or off for different cases and whatnot. So you come off, you go do your time, you come home, cool, they sign your paperwork, you're free. Now I go get a lease. No, you can't get a lease because you got these cases. I'm 48 years old now, so you're telling me something I did when I was 31, I can't get a lease. I'm almost 20 years later. So you don't want me to live. You don't want me to make money. So I went corporate. I went from convict to corporate. I work for a corporation now. So in corporate America, I sit back and watch how the money moves and money talks. The money is the key to everything. So
Hmm.
now when I opened my own business, I started to push and self-publish. It was funny to watch how all the major black entities where I would push to in order to try and get exposure turned a blind eye. They didn't want to touch it. Oh, it's too raw. Oh, it's too rough. Oh, it's too much. We don't want to deal with it. If it didn't have this chapter in it, we could probably do it if you put it out again. But why would I change the narrative?
Right.
You always claim that you want to fix the system, but in
Right.
order to fix a problem, you have to fully understand the problem. You don't water the problem down
Right.
for the supposed solution.
Wow. That's tough. That's tough, man. Listen, I'm gonna ask you one more. This one says, "Hello, Black entrepreneur. What motivates you to be your own boss and describe your passion?"
I like to honestly, if you can read my book or talk to me, or I can let my mistakes and the mistakes of my peers be your mistakes, and you skip crashing, you skip the headache, the heartache, the loss that we went through. Lost kids, lost lovers, lost homeboys, cats that that we grew up with as family, cats that would go to war for us, literally, that's just gone. I went to more funerals in 10 years than the average person would go to in 100. These are cats that that showed love above and beyond what you would call blood family. Oh, my family, I ride or die. These cats gonna ride or die for you. They're gone. I still see their kids. I still see their wives. I still see their grandmas. I still see their uncles. So,
Yep.
so my passion again is doing what they tell me I can do. It's setting the example for cats that have made mistakes in the past, that have been locked up, that do have records, and showing that you can do whatever it is you want to do. You can be successful in this world. Because you have a felony doesn't mean you have to dig ditches or climb around in chemical tanks the rest of your life. You can get out here and be successful and have money and move things around and make things shake and be the example for other people.
Let me ask you this, and this is kind of one of those thought provoking questions just off top.
Yeah.
Why can't our community? Why won't we glorify what you're doing? Now we can glorify the glitz and glamour, but what needs to be glorified is the true transparency and communication that you're giving back right now, because because you're going to save more uh, in our inner cities and our youth and well, maybe not youth, maybe some older guys, or young ladies. But I just feel like what you're doing deserves to be glorified. Just that transformation of reality that you're giving us. Because, like I said, somebody like me would never know. I would never know without your book, without your testimony, without your ability to expose certain things. I would never know, because like I say, all I see is what I see. Who's having a good time, or who's having what they got and whatever. And then when it goes away, I see nothing. I don't have any insight to it. So why can't we glorify what you're bringing back? Why do we have such hesitation for supporting and glorifying what you're bringing us?
Because that's what we were taught. If you think about what grandma told you when you're young, what happens in this house stays in this house. We keep everything negative inside. We bury it. We hide it. Put it back. We don't come outside with our negativity. We don't bring our dirty laundry outside. We don't bring our dirty business outside. If you go to grandma's house, everybody can hate each other, but you're going to sit at the table and we're going to eat and smile and drink and sing Kumbaya and whatever it is we do. And when we leave, we at each other's throat and trying to stab each other in the back and use each other, mess over each other, because we're raised that way. We want to portray this shiny image like the world is great and money fix everything.
Right.
We want to portray the image that money fixes everything. And make no mistake, I'll be the first one to tell you, everything is better with money. Miserable is better with money. It sucks to be broke. Starving sucks. It sucks to be hand to mouth. Don't get me wrong, but money does not fix your morals. Money does not fix your moral compass. It doesn't fix your soul. It doesn't fix you if you're empty inside or warped or dysfunctional or discombobulated. It won't fix all that. You have to find that somewhere else. Some of the cats that I know with the most money are in the church or looking to belong somewhere. Hence, you have all the organizations that pop up, the pseudo gang. So when you're in a gang, they say blood, crib, disciple, vice lord, whatever. And then you turn
Yep.
around, oh, well, I'm a Mason now. I go to college, an institution of higher learning, and I join a fraternity, and we beating the hell
Mm-hmm.
out of each other. That is a gang. By all definitions, it's a gang. It's a gang that was founded in an institution of higher learning. I've always been weirded out by the fact that you're black and you want to be a Greek, because if you study the Greeks, it was kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
Boys and boys, the island of Lesbo, all that put together. I don't really want that on my back.
Got
If
it.
I represent something, why do we do that and claim Greek and this, that, and the other? Why don't we have African stuff that we claim in place of that? I've always wondered. We had Egypt, we had Kemet, we had all of this stuff that was ahead of its time, but we don't claim that. When we go
It's basically what we see.
when we go to institutional higher learning, we become Greeks. That's the highest level of belonging at the institutional higher learning. You're an athlete or you're a Greek.
How do we change it? How do we change this mindset?
Changing the math starts out with individuals just being honest. Look, this is the dark side of what's going on. And in order
Mm-hmm.
to weather this storm, you have to find balance somewhere. You have to lock down somewhere. For me, my little brother was my balance. God saw fit to put my common sense in another body because he knew I was ignorant at the time. So it came in the form of my little brother. My little brother was my balance being and helped me come out of the darkness and find my way back to the light. But everybody has to have that balance. So who you are around, who you assimilate with, who you associate with will directly determine where you land in life.
Man, listen, you have been an absolute phenomenal guest. We're going to wrap it up by answering this question. What's next for you? We got your information here, your Facebook page, your IG,
Mm-hmm.
and your website. What's coming up next? You already gave us a preview. You're wrapping up one book. Your third installment is already in the works. So beyond that, what you got coming down the pipeline that people need to know about, and how can they stay in contact with you, just in case they don't want to read the screen? Just verbally tell them how to get in contact with you.
So the Instagram and Facebook is easy. Hostile Book, one word, HOSTILE book, BOOK. The website www.hostelebook.com. So the
Mm-hmm.
newest project is the Strong Arm Asylum podcast. It is going to be very raw and uncut. It's going to be some madness in there. I'm wild. I always, a certain part of me always be wild, but it'd be a lot of serious in there. You know, as
Mm-hmm.
far as coming in and dealing with fitness. I have fitness professionals here from Houston that are very popular and very accomplished. You know, like one of the guys that trained a lot of the guys that went to the NBA bubble has our
Okay.
athletes. I think he had 2 or 3 people that just win the draft.
Oh, good deal.
So he's
Good
he is
deal.
very accomplished. Another guy that's an awarded power lifter, award-winning power lifter, very dynamic on the black side as far as safety and security training. Celebrity firearms instructor here. One of my brothers actually owns Krav Maga gyms, so we're really big into self-defense.
Oh,
So
good
he's going
deal,
to
man.
it's a big deal. It's beautiful to me to watch the kids' classes.
Yeah.
You know, so we're going to bring these people in and start to talk about these things in an open forum. And I'm going to bring in the people that are experts at what they do. I've never
Got
been
it.
shy about saying this is an expert at it. Let him talk.
Right. I'm done
I,
with it.
I'll
He gonna
put
tell
them.
you what's going on.
I'll put them at the table and I'll kind of guide the discussion and let it go where it needs to go.
Got it.
So the
Got it.
Strong Arm Asylum podcast is my baby. It'll kick off in about 2 weeks, and
Good deal.
it's gonna be very interesting to talk about some of the things. You know, nature versus nurture, association, assimilation, how you were raised. You know, some of the problems we have with our females right now is that, and some of our males as well, some of our men is that they've never actually seen loyalty and they've never really seen quote unquote love. So when they get around somebody that's genuine, they don't recognize it. They can't recognize it for what it is. They don't know how to react to it, and they run from it.
Man, let me tell you something. You finna peel back some layers with this thing, Doc.
Oh, we're gonna have
Yes,
some fun.
sir.
It's gonna be a whole
Yes,
lot of dead.
sir.
There'll be a lot of dead. Are you talking about me? No, I'm talking to you.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Listen, man. I appreciate your time, your transparency. Everything that you're saying has been spot on. Definitely refreshing to me from your perspective. Cause I can't say I have seen it, but you have revealed some things just in this short amount of time that has been absolutely eye-opening to me. I'm gonna make sure get a copy of that book. I got some mentoring opportunities, and I think your book would be a spot on. Hey, I know where you may be headed. I can show you the vision from 30 years from now, what it could look like. And I think that's absolutely great, man. What you're doing, just keep doing what you're doing, man. God bless you. Every endeavor that you put your hands on, I know it's going to be successful, man. And that's all I got. I appreciate you jumping on the show.
Thank you for having me. I
Yes,
appreciate it.
sir. Yes, sir. We will be sharing that podcast, man. When the podcast pop off, we'll be following you. You'll see the share from
Well,
Hello
I
Black
appreciate
Man.
it. Thank you, sir. You
Yes,
have a
sir.
safe
Have a
trip.
good night.
You too.
Yes, sir.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Darius Slaughter. Uh, Everything that he brought to the table tonight was absolutely, I don't know, I'm going to say mind blowing to me, because a lot of the viewpoints that he has is personal. So you can't see it. He has to be the one to tell it to you. So tap into that, brother, man. His Facebook information is at the bottom of the screen. His IG, his website. Grab that book, especially if you have someone that needs that viewpoint. It's like predicting the future. Right now we have the future already written for you. What could be, what may be. This is what it's going to look like. These are the situations you could be putting yourself into. So just for him to reveal that, I think is absolutely needs to be glorified. And we need to tap into that, brother. We need to share his content, get his books, support him. That's what we need to be about. I said, these are the kind of people that are doing some things that it may not be super popular, but it's super powerful. It may not be super popular what he's saying, but it is super powerful for the people that he's reaching. So it's our job to help this kind of information to be blasted, shared. Say, hey, let's tap in. For every 100, 100,000 million people that we can reach for this kind of information, they can see it beforehand. If you know it's going to rain Friday, you'll prepare different. If you know it's going to rain at 12 o'clock, you'll know kind of how to dress in the morning. So right now it's the morning time. And so, so now he's giving you, this is what's going to happen. This is what I've seen at this point in time, as I have progressed through this arena of life. And this is what you're going to have to deal with. He talked about not being able to get a lease and having to deal with certain situations because of something he did 17 years ago. Right now, we got 17-year-olds, right? We got 17-year-olds that we're interacting with on a daily basis. And so, what are we doing to say, okay, when you're 40, this is the things you'll be facing? Why do it? Why have to face those things? Why have to face those things if you don't have to? Why? We can do better. We can put this information out there. We have the ability to share, 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 share. People are so protective over their timelines and over their social media likes and follows and stuff like that, man. But we got to get beyond that. One of my last Facebook posts kind of talks about it. Just about how we can share content and just get the right people into the right places, man. We ran over a little bit tonight, but I had a great time on the Entrepreneur Podcast. So make sure we tap into Mr. Darius Slaughter. This has been Jamie Jenkins signing off for the Entrepreneur Podcast of the Hello Black Man segment. If you learned anything tonight, if you enjoyed yourself, make sure you share, tag, and subscribe to the channel. If you're on YouTube, thank you all. Have a good night. Hello, Black Man.